Tim from Tim Heron Shooting, and I wanted to take a quick moment to address a common concern that a lot of shooters have when they're trying to work on transitions in their practice, and especially working on wide transitions, say from like one target to another target, where they've really got to swing the gun wide between two targets. And that is being able to disconnect the vision from the sight picture between the two targets so that you get your vision ahead to the next target sooner, so that you know exactly where to drive the sights to the next target. All too often I see shooters that they tend to marry the sight picture with their vision, or they marry the dot because they're afraid of, if I get my eyes taken off of it, I'm going to lose this sight picture along the way, and I'm going to end up spending too much time trying to regain this sight picture, or trying to spend too much time over refining the sights as needed to the next target. And that is true if your structure, as how you're building your grip on the gun and how you're holding the gun in the hands, it tends to be faulty. But if your structure is good and you're holding the gun well and you're gripping the gun well, that sight picture is not going to move. I need to move my eyes from the sight picture to where I want to bring the sight picture next. If I'm spending a lot of time over refining the sights here before I break the shot, then I break the shot and I'm letting the sights then return to that, and then I'm keeping my vision married to this sight picture all the way across to the next target, then once I get my target or my sights to the next target, I end up losing confirmation on where it is, and I end up either underswinging or overswinging, and then I have to make all of these small other corrections to the sights before I feel confident in pressing the trigger again. All of those extra movements and that reactionary or surprise of getting the sights there without a particular place to drop the sights in on the target is costing me time in over refining the sight picture, to the tune of anywhere between 1/10 to even 2 to 3/10 of a second. So anytime that I'm letting the sights lift and then letting the sights return to a target that I'm done shooting, that's costing me at least 1/10 or 2/10 of a second. If I'm still tracking the sights all the way to the next target and I'm shooting that target based on almost like a surprise or a reaction versus proactively getting my eyes to a particular spot to drive the sights to, I'm causing myself to lose another 1/10 to 2/10 of a second in time that it's costing me to over refine the sight picture to the next target before I can start working the trigger. And this 1 to 2/10 of a second per transition adds up very, very fast. So if let's say in a standard practical shooting like course of fire, let's say even over, let's say a 10 target array, in a practical shooting scenario, if at 10 targets, if I'm losing 1/10 of a second per target transition, I'm costing myself a full second of time, and that was not even shooting time, right? That's just in moving the gun from one target to the next. So every 1/10 of a second that I can save in moving the gun more effectively from one target to the next target, the more time I can effectively save on a stage and bring my overall time frame down on a practical shooting stage and save time. So I've set up a demonstration outside to help reconfirm this too, that'll show just what those differences are. So I'm going to put my gear on, and we'll go outside, and I'll show you. Stick around. Okay, so this first demonstration, I'm going to just track the dot through my sight, or through my eyesight, all the way from target to target, and we're just going to kind of see what's out there. I'm going to start with the gun aimed at the left steel, and then transition the gun as quickly as I can, but stay maintaining a presence on the dot, like visual presence on the dot, till I get to the next target and firing the shot. Here we go. So that was a .71. I'm going to try to maintain the same level of consistency on just reaction to the beep. .71 was the total for 2 shots from the beep. The most important figure of this, though, is not the .26 in response to the beep for the first shot. Most importantly, shot number 2, which is from one shot to the next shot, that transition was .45. And that's simply, again, I'm letting the eyes and my dot track at the exact same plane all the way across from target to target. So I'm going to do this again, only now I'm going to shift my visual attention from one shot, bang, move my eyes first to the next target and drive the dot exactly where I'm looking at. And we're going to see if we can't reduce that 0.45 transition to a point. Let's say we can just try to cut off even a tenth. There we go. So there we went from a 0.45 to a 0.37. So we cut off a tenth of a second just in simply separating our vision from the dot and kind of unmarrying the two so that I can get my eyes to the next target to be able to drive the dot exactly where I'm looking. So I'm not looking to ambush the target with the dot. I'm actually getting my eyes exactly where I want to the target and then bringing the dot to immediately where I'm looking. I don't have to waste any other time like being surprised on where's it at, where's it at, where's it at, there it is, and then having to stop everything and let the dot settle before I break the shot. Every time we have to let the dot settle unnecessarily, it's costing us at least a tenth of a second.